everybody at Beyond Words podcast. I am Maneet and I have Oksana with me.
Hello.
So today we have a very special guest. We have Dr. Aman. So Dr. Aman is a professional image coach and a soft skills trainer. She's a dental surgeon by qualification, but she decided to reinvent herself in something that she's more passionate about, which is grooming and training individuals to be more confident in different walks of life. Dr. Aman has successfully trained young professionals across industry on image management, soft skills, and creating the right impressions with communication, body language, and power of dressing. In the past 4 years, Dr. Aman has got experience of conducting training in many different institutions, business schools, law schools, and different individuals. With this, I welcome Dr. Aman at Beyond Words podcast.
Hello, everybody. Special thanks to you all for having me here and for the wonderful introductions. I hope whatever we talk here is helpful to the people who listen to the podcast.
Also, a big welcome from my side. And well, since you're an image consultant, maybe we could briefly talk about what is actually an image.
Okay, Oksana, when you talk about image, it's the picture of you in minds of others. Okay, what people think of you is what we really call image, and self-image is something that what you think about yourself. So if the discrepancy between your image and your self-image, that is where consultants like me are required to reduce that gap or to nullify that gap between what you perceive yourself to be and what people are perceiving you as. That means there is something which is not right in your communication to the people, that you are unable to actually portray what you actually feel inside. I may be a cat. When I'm looking in the mirror, I see myself as a lioness. All right? People are still perceiving me as a cat. That means I am not giving the right messages for them to look at me as a lioness. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
This gap is something that to bridge this gap, you need consultants like me who can help you bring out the real you and present to the world what you actually want them to think about. That is all about image and image management.
So you basically work with that person, or let's say the people that need working on bridging this gap of what they want us portray and what is actually perceived. Then you have I don't know, how can we imagine your work? If you could explain a little bit.
So before going on to explain what my work actually is in a one-on-one consultation, I would like to explain certain things, Sana and Maneet, how long do you think does it take to make an impression of somebody?
Oh, split seconds.
Yeah.
Less than a second.
Yes.
According to studies, it's somewhere between 3 to 5 seconds max.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
It's just that 3 seconds that you have. What will you see in a person? You can't see the person's heart.
Yeah.
You can't see his knowledge.
Yeah.
You can't see his behavior. All that you see is the person in front of you. All right. Yeah. So it is appearance that creates the first impression in someone's mind. And researchers have shown that that first impression is quite everlasting. Not that it can never be changed, but it is very, very difficult. There was some research even done on that. According to that, one wrong first impression, you need 8 to 10 dedicated hours with that person to correct your impression.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So that is the importance of making the right first impressions, at least to the people who matter in your life and who matter for your professional growth also.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That is the importance of how you present yourself, which basically means clothing, grooming, and your body language. These are the three main things. And communication comes a bit later, because in those 3 seconds, you're not saying anything. You haven't even opened your mouth in those 3 seconds. That communication will make a difference. But the communication that you make from your physical presence there, that makes sense.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is how these are the things we work around. Whenever somebody looks at you for the first time, you should present yourself as the most confident and the most knowledgeable person in your field. Whether you are or not is immaterial. How make that first impression that will decide your future engagements with that person.
Okay.
So here I would also like to comment, when I have talked to so many people and said this, they talk about, everybody talks about Stephen Jobs doing his presentations and launches in just a plain black t-shirt and a jeans.
Yeah.
But once you reach that level, you are free to walk away even in a vest to a stage and do your announcements. But not in that stage of life. It is important that appearance talks about what you really are.
Yes. So with that, I have a question in mind that I would like a clarity in, that many a times when we use term as image consultant or like image coach, people think it more towards a very professional manner, like, okay, only working professional or like CIOs, CXOs, somebody like with that post needs it. I'm a normal person, I'm a normal human being. Why do I need an image consultant?
Everybody on this earth can make some use of an image consulting process in their life, immaterial of what stage or what profession or what role they have in society. Even a housewife. I have often had housewives complaining that their children don't listen to them. These are those ladies who walk around in their night dress in the house. All day till afternoons and later than that. That is how your children see you then. Not in an authoritative position. Do you understand? It's again your thoughts that is doing the talking. If you really want your kids to listen to you, you should get ready in time. Not that you have to wear formal clothes even at home, but at least you need to get out of your nice clothes or your lounge pants, stuff like that at times, to have that authoritative image even with your kids. So even a housewife can use the services of an image consultant for these small tips that can make a huge difference in the way even your kids or your husband or your in-laws look at you.
I guess that's so true, and we don't even consider that as a very important thing.
I was also thinking what you said about at home, of course, but then I also remembered if you go shopping and you see people, you automatically, what you said, in some seconds, you automatically have let's not say judgment, but you have some kind of idea how this person could be just by seeing the person. And so would it be is it even possible to put across your inner qualities in your outer appearance? Is this also something people can work on? To have a congruency of what you are inside to the outside?
Building your image actually works inside out. I am not talking about changing everything about you. It's what you feel inside that has to be reflected outside.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's what I am inside has to be reflected in my clothes. If remember that scene, Julia Roberts, which movie is that? She walks into a designer store and the lady. Which movie is that?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman, right?
Yes.
So the woman at the store doesn't even attend to her. In fact, she shoos her away to go away. Because of her appearance, that was wrong, right? Clothes she was wearing, so the kind of body language she eluded at that time was not right for her to be in that store.
Yeah, the hair
Right? So
were everywhere, and the dress was very
Messy,
casual.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Mm.
it's one good example to, to actually make people believe that your appearance actually matters.
Yes. Yeah, that I guess like some people think like only changing the outer appearance will make a difference, but I guess image consultants do in and out both, like your communication, the way you speak, what you speak, like because
Yes.
sometimes what happens is I have often experienced like for the outer experience, somebody may seem to be like, oh wow, she's like so smart, this and that, but the moment she opens up her mouth, it's all done.
I had this client who was in her dressing, she wasn't too bad,
Okay.
but her English wasn't really too good. And she
Yeah.
always tried to speak in English.
Yeah.
The only thing I convinced her to do was to stop trying to speak in English.
Yeah.
Be proud of your own language and
Yes.
speak in that language.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
there, if you're trying to speak in English and you know that you don't know, there is not going to be a confident conversation between anybody, and that
Yes.
actually will take your image lower than
Sure.
if. Of course, there are some people who consider that somebody who doesn't know English is, not at par with them,
But that's
not
wrong.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really wrong.
Yeah.
If you can talk confidently in your own language, in Hindi or your vernacular regional languages, go
Yes.
ahead and talk that language.
Yeah.
But be confident in whatever you are doing. Just be
Yeah.
confident.
Impression that people have, like, oh my god, I can't hire an image consultant, but they think, okay, it is for somebody who who are like very well to do or very rich, or it's out of my reach, like.
No, it's not that. I think whatever the consultants charge is worth every
Yeah.
penny that, and you can find image consultants working at different levels of the financial aspect to it. It's not
Yeah.
that everybody charges a bomb.
Yeah.
The people who are experienced and they definitely charge more, but you can find people who charge you very nominal and they can help you make that change.
Like also a question about your experience, because maybe there is one, like if you could narrow it down to one or two things that most people do wrong by portraying their image. What are like the most important things to work on with people? Like,
Yeah.
You mean what are the changes people want to see in themselves?
well, or what are the things that have to be always changed? Because I guess there are like qualities, the way people portray themselves, that sometimes like many people have the same problem, like
The basics, I
So-
guess. Yes.
So one thing that I have noticed in most of my clients, I'll tell you, there's a confusion in formal clothes for work and formal clothes for social events.
Okay.
Then, especially in India, when you're wearing the Indian events, the weddings that we have, they demand a totally different kind of an attire. That
Yeah.
is also formal, but
Yeah.
that is a social formal or a party formal kind of a thing, and a work formal. What I have seen most of the times, and as an image consultant, sometimes I really feel the need, that someone has to actually make a video and make it viral to understand the difference between formal clothes that you wear to work and the formal clothes that you wear to a party or a function or a wedding event.
Yeah.
Like a shawl collar, the tuxedo kind of a thing. You don't wear that to work. Just because you have to wear a third layer, you don't wear a tuxedo to work.
Yeah, you don't go like to the Oscars. Yeah, of course.
So you don't wear a very dressy golden border and a chunky sari to an office.
Yes.
You can wear it to a social event.
Yeah.
So a lot of confusion happening there. I really wish I can bring about that change in the thought process of somehow.
But I feel for like ladies specifically, when it comes to makeup, there's also a lot of confusion. Like when they say do basic grooming in office, I see a lot of people like wearing like very heavy makeup to the office. Like, how should we differentiate? Like
There also it's the same, the office. See, makeup is important. It is an important part of grooming, especially once you cross your 30s or something. Till then, your skin is glowing in itself. You don't need to do anything. Just add a liner and a little bit of lip color and you're sorted.
yeah,
But once you cross 30, 35, makeup is really helpful. But yeah, again, like when you're going to work,
yeah,
makeup has to be very natural looking and very subtle, shouldn't be over the board. But when
Yeah.
you're going for a wedding, you can do whatever you want,
yeah, yeah.
I think, this thing we say, even in your whole attire or the makeup as such, you need to create one focal point.
Okay.
Right? And in a professional setup, that focal point has to be somewhere higher up so that the
Okay.
attention goes towards your face when people are communicating with you.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm wearing a very dull kind of a monotone kind of a attire for office,
Yeah.
a colorful scarf around my neck will get the attention towards my face.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Rather than me wearing a contrast pair of shoes with it,
Yeah.
me wearing a black suit and a red pair of shoes with it. The attention is going to be at my feet. Nobody is
Yes.
going to look at my face.
Yes. Correct.
Right? So you need to know where you want to have that focal point. Again, in social events, be my guest, wear even fluorescent shoes. It's fine. But when
Yeah.
everything that you do should have your attention, up here,
Up here. Okay. Yeah.
so that people look in your eye when they talk to you.
Yes.
The attention
That you have connection,
Yeah.
on the face rather than anywhere else. Maybe if you're wearing a single monotone, you could just add one brooch here or a brooch here. That
Yeah.
also not too lower down, okay? Because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
bust area becomes the area of
Focal. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be very cautious that it stays above
Up.
here.
I guess even on the face, can we do that? Like either like do eyes or do lips? Like
Yes, yes. So in office, that's what I was saying. Make one focal point. Either you concentrate on your eye makeup, or you concentrate on your brighter. If you have brighter lips, let the eyes be subtle. If you have brighter eyes, let the lips be subtle.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep both of them on the lower side, you can add slightly more bold earrings.
Okay.
If you create too many focal points, people are lost at to wherein their eyes have to stop.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Eyes are confused. Where do I go and stop? So
Yeah.
it keeps wandering. So does the attention.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
If your eyes settle at one thing, your attention and focus is towards the person.
That's actually a great advice. I love that because otherwise people will be like this, like, oh, that's great advice for our audience too. Thank you so much.
Because the eyes don't know where to stop. If you have one big and you have very bright lips also, and then you have a very prominent piece on your neck also, it's very confusing as to where to stop.
Yes.
No, so thank you so much because I think also for the audience it's going to be a great advice where they can actually start to focus a little bit.
Once your audience has made that first impression of you, that okay, she is professional in her appearance, professional in her attitude, then they will your session like as a soft skill consultant. I mean, as a soft skills trainer, I am putting up, or even as a doctor. Then they will take you and your knowledge to be more reliable than if it's the other way around. They will trust you more and they will find you more reliable with your work.
Yeah. Yes, it's a wonderful example that not only in corporates but also like doctors in their private clinics, teachers in a classroom, anywhere, any profession, for anyone, it's so important. Like, but their overall image is so important. But I also wanted to understand, when it comes to communication, and like communication in a social setting, my mother always used to tell me, you never discuss politics, you never discuss, religion in so and so sector. Is it? Yeah, I wanted to understand it in greater detail.
Yeah, what are the kind of topics whenever you're discussing this, having a discussion or meeting somebody in a social kind of a setup?
Yes.
Religion and politics is something that is very personal.
Yeah.
And very controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So those are things that you actually need to avoid. Religion, politics is the most controversial thing that happens.
Yes.
Religion is something very personal. Like, I follow Sikhism, but not to an extent that someone else must be.
I agree. Yeah.
So when you start discussing that, it becomes a point of clash. You are right, you're wrong. So these are the things that you should actually avoid talking. And generally, you have certain, it's okay to talk about weather when you want to start a conversation with somebody. That is totally forgivable sentence that you will make. But religion and politics is unforgivable.
Yes.
I even I used to be a teacher, and so this was also number one rule for standing in front of a class, or that you do not discuss your religion. Do not even make people know which party you're in, or which party you support, or which religion, just because of that, because you don't want people to either to feel like you're actually excluding them, because saying, okay, if you have someone who is Christian and has a cross there, then basically the children that are Muslim, for example, might think, okay, this teacher is not teaching for me. So so I totally relate to that topic. So Dr. Aman, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing this wonderful topic with us, and we would be really happy to have you on another episode and maybe go into detail a little bit. So for our audience, please just if you have interest in talking about something, a special field from this image consulting, just comment us and we'll talk about it next time we meet Dr. Aman. Thank you so much.
I will be mentioning your contact credentials down in the description box as well, your Instagram handle, your email ID as well. So if somebody wants to get in touch with her personally to get a one-to-one image consultancy, you can feel free to contact her. And it was really a very insightful session. We got to learn so many interesting things. So thank you so much again.
Thank you, Manmeet and Akshay, having me here. What we talked about is just the tip of the iceberg, If we start thinking about it, we can do so many sessions just on image consulting without me getting into the personal details of color consulting and stuff like that. Even then we can have, it's a very wide subject that we can talk. Thanks for having me, and look forward to the next one. So
definitely. Thank you. So if you liked what you saw, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to our channel if you have not already subscribed, and do not forget to click the little bell icon so that you get notified the next time we upload a new video.
Thank you very much for watching, and again, big thanks to our guests, and namaste.
Namaste.